was a cautious drive into town on the way to this job, as round my way they don't tend to grit the roads, so had to be a bit slow there. Right, on this job I had to take the top of this conifer off. The lady originally wanted it level with the garage, but I actually convinced her to do it sort of 6 inches higher, a foot higher, to say it didn't look too straight. And the pear tree next to it, take as much off as I could. I was aiming sort of 30%, but I think it went near 40 time I got done. So I actually put the harness on this. I had tied the ladder in, as you see, and quickly cut a hole in the top here so I could get the lanyard in. It's not high, what, 6, 7 feet, 8 feet the most, but on the way there the temperature gauge in the van was said -5, and the ladder was just covered in frost. Absolutely, my feet were sliding on it. So I thought it's best to put that in just in case. Even when I finished the conifer, the ladder still had frost on the side rails of it, so it was very cold. Luckily this conifer's actually only got the main stem in the centre, which I've attached to, and 3 large stems on the outside. Then the rest was fairly small stuff. I did this one on the left hand side first. As you can see, they're reasonable thickness. I did a little cut at the front of this particular stem. They're quite long, and because you're at the bottom, they got a bit of leverage on them, and they will pull you a bit, so it just gives me a chance to sort of steer it a little bit. Where the conifer is going to come through and fall down would have hit this branch on the pear tree. So while I was there, I thought I'd quickly nick it off. I'm not very good with a saw left-handed, so as you can see. But I didn't want the conifer to hit that, because it would have snapped the pear tree a bit further in. Plus it might have rolled the bit of conifer over into the ladder and all, which I didn't want. So it's surprising sometimes how much weight is in some of these bits of conifer. So always better to be safe than sorry, and look where you're going to drop them. You see that would have hit that branch. Always be careful when you're above them like this, because sometimes when you roll them over, the bottom end can sort of ping up, and if your face is there, it could be nasty. So just be a little bit careful there. And like I say, they're good length. And what I did, I took a little bit more off the left hand side here, just to get me level, so to speak. I'd already sort of cut a couple of marks in the front, so I knew the height I wanted it at. So I'm using sort of this side as a guideline then for the level as such. On this whole job, I didn't use a hedge cutter for a change, so it was all secateurs and pruning saw. I cut as much as I could off on that left hand side, so it just sort of cleared the way as well. Opens it up, you know, so you can see better where you're cutting as well. one I'm tapping with the saw there is the one I left last. What I did is I took this one out now on the right of me, and then I did the middle main stem, and the one towards the back I left the last. I did it that way so if for any reason something went wrong when I took the main stem and it sort of started to go over the wrong way, that back one would hold it a little bit. But when I did take that main stem out, because it is pretty good size, I actually did put a piece of rope just a bit further up to give me a little bit more leverage pulling it, or to guide it as such. What I was doing here is I was using actually the saw to help sort of judge a straight line. Use the top of the blade as a straight line to sort of aim for. Then I cut the outside edge of where I just took that thick one out. Because obviously it's better to cut not enough off than too much, because you can't stick it back on. And that's it halfway now. As you can see, there's quite a bit coming off the top. And there it is, all done now. As you can see, so there was only 4 big trunks in there, so, and I was quite pleased. I got it fairly level actually. I just used a secateurs, just tidy 1-2 bits up. I think in total it took me about 25 minutes from putting a ladder against it to getting down to actually completely do all the top of this. But at this point it was cold. My hands, I lost the feeling in my hands at this point. But yeah, I was fairly pleased. So it came out quite nice. Right, this is the pear tree. It's some body at some points really butched into it, and you can see all this tangly old growth everywhere. So the lady asked me if I can take off as much as possible. I was aiming for 30%, but it probably near 40 time I got done. It's a pretty old pear tree as well. At some point someone's put a lot of attention into this tree and really looked after it. As you can see how it's been trained, but a bit neglected now. I tried to keep a certain amount of the fruit spurs in there, but I should imagine I took at least 75% of them out with the wood sort of thing. This was a really twisted up old pear tree, and every time you cut a piece of wood out you struggle to actually pull it out the tree. As you see there, I've managed to leave some fruit spurs, but you can only cut so much off and be confident the trees could survive. So I try to avoid cutting any of them, the thick limbs at all. I pretty much treated this as you would an apple tree on a winter prune. Some of the newer growth a bit lower down, a year old stuff, I cut to 2 inches. I know I mentioned it before, but if you ever want a relatively cheap saw but razor sharp, these Wilkinson saws are absolutely brilliant. I think they're about 14-15 quid, and they cut like a razor, really do. So the only thing you'll get better is a Silky, which would be 4 or 5 times the price. As you can see, some quite thick old stuff coming out of here. And so you see it's how tangled it is. This is about halfway. It looks a bit severe. It's probably not as bad as it looks, because the sun's behind it, and yeah, you can see the silhouette of the thick stuff. But there it is, completely finished. As you can see, someone's trained it really well at some point in the past. And there's the conifer, and there's all the mess I've got to chuck through the chipper. It took me about half hour to chip it all, and I only put it in 2 bags. And there's my cup of tea before I started chipping. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed, and try and stay warm. Thank you.